everyone, today and to start our series we are going to have a look at the forward of an asset. So what do we call the forward of an asset first and how to value it? The forward of an asset or the forward price of an asset is the fair price of a forward contract. So now let's have a look at what a forward contract is. A forward contract is a contract between two counterparties, and the terms of such a contract are the following. The underlying asset first, the quantity or the size of the contract, the maturity date of the contract, who of the counterparty is the buyer and who is the seller, and the forward price. Let's imagine that the contract is on Amazon shares for 10,000 shares, that the maturity date is in 1 year, that the buyer is Mr. A, the seller is Mr. B, and that the forward price is $1,740. At time zero, A and B will sign the contract and all the terms will be fixed, but there won't be any payment at time zero. In 1 year, A commits to buy from B 10,000 shares of Amazon shares and to pay $1,740 per share. So we can see two important elements of a forward contract. The first one is that at time zero everything is fixed but nothing is paid, and that maturity date the buyer has to buy the shares and the seller has to deliver the shares. There is no optionality at all in a forward contract. As in most cases in finance, to evaluate the price of a contract, we need to understand how the contract will be hedged by the counterparties. So here let's consider Mr. B, who is the seller of the forward contract. B has signed the contract, so he will have to deliver the 10,000 shares in 1 year, and he will receive a price of, in our example, $1,740 per share. So what should he do during this year? First option, he could do nothing. He will do nothing for 1 year. Just before the expiry of the forward contract, he will have to buy 10,000 shares because he will need to deliver 10,000 shares, and he will pay the prevailing market price. Since nobody knows the price of Amazon shares in 1 year, here Mr. B is taking a big risk. He may make a big profit or a big loss. So this is not a replicating strategy, this is a speculative strategy. On the contrary, he could buy the Amazon shares now at the current market price that is known, let's say $1,700. Of course, Mr. B needs to finance this purchase. And remember that there is no payment upfront from the forward contract. So he will need to borrow the money, let's say at the interest rate of 2.5%. Observe for a second that Mr. B is flat cash. Indeed, on the forward contract side, there is no payment at time zero. And on his strategy, all the money he borrowed, he invested in the purchase of the shares. So net, there is no cash on the strategy side either. We assume that the loan is infinite and that Amazon shares do not pay any dividend, which means that there will not be any intermediary cash flow in the portfolio, the strategy portfolio of Mr. B. In 1 year, Mr. B will have the 10,000 shares that he bought at time zero, so he will be able to deliver the shares that he promised to deliver in the forward contract. But what about the cash flows now? In 1 year, Mr. B will have to pay back his loan. So he will have to pay back 10,000 times 1,700 plus 2.5%, which is 10,000 times $1,742.50. On the forward contract side, Mr. B will receive money from the buyer. He will receive, as the contract said, $1,740 per share, which is 10,000 times $1,740. So in terms of cash flows in 1 year, Mr. B will receive for each share $1,740, but at the same time he will have to pay $1,742.50. Mr. B is going to lose $2.5 per share in 1 year. So he realizes that he entered into a forward contract that was not priced fairly, and he can now price the forward contract fairly. In our case, where there was no dividend, the fair forward price of Amazon should have been $1,742.5. In other words, it should have been the spot price of $1,700 accrued at the prevailing interest rate. We can now easily write the general formula. So for a stock that does not pay dividends, the forward price for a maturity T is only the spot price accrued at the interest rate over the period T.